Pants or skirts? Shirts or dresses? These are the questions I'm going to be answering today. Welcome back to another JessTalks episode, the part of the show where I come out and I talk. So today, I'm going to be talking about modesty / clothing. Today specifically, I'll be talking about the debate between pants and skirts, specifically for Christian women. Now, I assume in my videos I've made it very clear my stance on faith. I am a Christian and I am a lady. Obviously. I've seen this trend recently going around of people who are of faith pushing the, if you are going to be a Christian, you have to dress modesty, which I do believe in. We'll get into that in a second, but specifically saying that you have to be wearing skirts and dresses, and if you do wear pants, they have to be those super baggy pants that don't show anything, like anything at all. Personally, I disagree with this on quite a few levels. Starting off with the obvious, we'll go into a culture debate here. Specifically being, there are cultures out there that it is common for women to wear pants and men to wear the skirts. There are cultures out there where it's common for both to wear pants, and there's cultures out there where it's common for both to wear skirts, robes, things like that. So automatically saying, making it such a blanketed statement that if you are going to be a Christian, you have to wear a skirt if you're a lady, doesn't make sense for those cultures and those societies where that's not how that works. And it would be very, I want to say disturbing, I guess, to them if women started wearing skirts, because in their culture, that's not what they wear or anything. So to start off with, when it comes to that sort of thing, it doesn't make sense. Then you can make an argument that here in the States where I live, our culture has it where skirts are traditionally more feminine and pants are traditionally more masculine. So you could make an argument, yes, but in our culture, women wear skirts and dresses. I still have issues and problems with that. In general, I like wearing pants. I like wearing skirts. I actually enjoy wearing both, very much so. For me, it depends a lot on what I'm doing and what's going on. If I am going to be having, I don't know, if I'm working outside or if I'm doing hard physical work, a lot of moving, most of my jobs I've had in the past, for the most part, I've worn pants. I used to work in a food industry. I would wear pants because I would be getting up on stools. I'd be moving around the kitchen real fast and everything. It was just plain not practical and not safe in many ways for me to be wearing skirts in that setting and a couple of other jobs that I've had. It just doesn't make sense. If I have a job where I'm not doing as much physical stuff, when I worked at the daycare, I did wear more skirts and dresses than one in the job before and the job after it. But my job was a whole lot more, I don't want to say relaxed, but it didn't require as much of getting up and down and moving around and stuff. So I still wore skirts and dresses. I still do to this day also. Obviously, I enjoy wearing them, especially when it's hot outside, when the weather's bad, or if I'm dressing up for a special event or dressing up for church or something. I like to wear skirts and dresses. But when it comes to the day-to-day life and grind, I prefer pants. And I do not prefer the baggy pants. I personally do not care for that style. That is my opinion. I will put right there, here and there, that is my opinion. I don't care for the baggy street style. I do not like how that looks. That's my personal opinion. For that specifically, I'll put there, that's my personal opinion. Comes to pants for Christian women, specifically like mothers and stuff, there's this trend going around saying that you have to be wearing skirts and stuff. I just disagree. I disagree. I don't find it in the Bible. Oddly enough, I did a little quick research. I don't know why I didn't think about researching this before, but I did a little quick research before I turned the camera on this to look up modesty, both in the Bible and on Google's dictionary, or the dictionary here. And what I found was actually a little bit on the interesting side. According to the Strong Concordance, modesty only shows up once in the Bible, and it's in 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 9. And in this manner also the women adorn themselves in modest apparel with property and moderation, not with braided hair or gold or pearls or costly clothing. And strangely enough, that's the only time modesty shows up in the Bible, according to my work here, which I find very, very interesting. Now, the actual definitions, the definitions I have for modesty, I have a two-fold, and I'm actually going to say both of these because modesty can mean two things. It can mean a not a personality trait, but a human trait, but it can also relate to clothing. And I actually would like to read both of them to make this point. The first one would be with the clothing, a decency and property. I think I'm saying that, propriety. Modesty extends to how we dress, groom, and conduct ourselves in public. It's about choosing attire and behavior that is appropriate for the situation and avoid drawing undue attention to oneself, particularly in the terms of sexual or provocative display. That's one. And then the other one, humility and self-awareness. Modesty involves recognizing one's own limitations and avoiding boastfulness or arrogance. It's about having a balanced view of oneself, one's abilities, without excessive pride or self-promotion. Now, I read both of those because I acknowledge where it is that they are coming from. People who say if you're a Christian lady or you're Christian or and stuff, you have to be wearing skirts, you have to be wearing baggy pants, you can't be showing anything off in it or anything. I get where they're coming from that, especially within our society where bikinis and tight-fitting leggings, which is something we'll get into in a minute or in the next episode probably. I get where they're coming from. I understand what it is that they are arguing against. But that's not what I see. That is not how I view this. Modesty, when it comes down to it, has a lot to do with your heart and why it is that you are dressing the way that you are dressing. I don't put pants on to show off. I put pants on because it's practical when I'm working and I find it comfortable. I find it comfortable and easy to get things done in pants. I find it's just practical, okay? I am not wearing them to show off or anything like that. And I don't personally wear the baggy clothes because I don't like how I look in them. And I like wearing stuff that I feel good in, I like myself in. And baggy pants, baggy clothes, I do not feel good in. They do not make me feel good. They do not feel like me, I guess. And I just do not like it. Now again, I do wear skirts and dresses. I actually wear them quite often. I love wearing them because I also feel good in skirts and dresses as well. I like the feeling of wearing them, especially if I'm barefoot outside walking around out in the warm summer sun. I love it. I love that feeling. But majority of the time I'm actually found in pants and not skirts. It's not because I'm dressing sexy or I'm trying to draw the eye or anything like that. I'm wearing pants because they're comfortable, they're practical, and in our culture it is not a what's the word I want? A demurring thing for women to wear pants. It is not women trying to become guys. We're just wearing them because it's practical. It makes sense. The point I think I'm driving at is that modesty honestly has a lot to do with your heart and your intentions and what it is that you are trying to showcase and trying to show the world. I am a daughter of the King, the one true King. I am his daughter. I like to showcase that, I guess. I don't want to hide away from my femininity, from being a woman and stuff. So I don't care. That's why one reason I don't care for the more baggy clothes and stuff. I don't feel like I am honoring that part of who I am, the daughter of the King. Now that said, if you're the type of person who love to wear skirts and dresses and never touch pants, all the power to you. I don't have a problem with that. If you never wear skirts or dresses and only pants, that makes more sense. All the power to you too. I don't see there being a problem with that. Now there is a fine line there though. There are obviously extremes of wearing pants and shirts and that sort of thing. And honestly, there is with skirts as well, that I do think as someone of faith, yeah, you probably shouldn't be wearing, because it would be showcasing the wrong message, be sending the wrong message. Just real quick, super tight fitting pants, as in those leggings that are basically just skin. I have issues with those. I have issues with straight up bikinis, especially if you're out in public and not at the pool. I have issues with that. Mini skirts, Daisy Dukes shorts, things along those lines, I do have issue with, especially when it comes to being a woman of faith. I think that those type of clothing does not showcase yourself as the daughter of the one true king. So there is a moderation in there, things that you probably shouldn't be wearing and things that you're okay wearing. I know I'm wearing this like big frumpy poncho at the moment, but majority of the time I just wear the t-shirts. I'm wearing more practical clothes, and I'm wearing my jeans, my good old black. They're black, but I'm wearing jeans. But I'm not dressed provocatively. I know I'm not saying that word. I am not dressed in a way that I'm wearing this specifically to flounce my body, to show it off, or to draw the eye, draw attention to me. I'm wearing the shirt because it's comfortable and I like the color pink, obviously. And I'm wearing the pants because I am being very active at the moment, doing a lot of things where it just playing calls. The pants are more practical. And again, I'm actually very comfortable in pants, and majority of the time I do prefer wearing them. They're practical and they're comfortable for me. So I think in general, what I am trying to get at, what I'm trying to drive at, is a lot of modesty and clothing comes down to your walk with the Lord. If you are dressing specifically to draw people's attention to you, if you are dressing so that guys will pay attention to you, draw their eyes, draw their attraction, if you are dressing in that way, I have issue with that, no matter what it is you're wearing. Because you could be wearing pants and a shirt, or you could be wearing a really nice, like, long covering dress, and if you're still wearing it with the intention of distracting people, gaining people's attention in a very unmodest way, then I have issues with that. But if you're wearing a good pair of jeans that fit just right, and a t-shirt because it's comfortable, it's practical, you can get stuff done in it, or for you who are moms, it's the only set of wash clothes you have, or it's just what you have on hand. Laundry is not, you don't have the laundry done or anything. I do not have a problem with you just throwing on a pair of jeans and a t-shirt. In the next episode, I will dive in a little bit more when it comes to sweatpants and legging type things, and then a little bit more when it comes to clothing in our society specifically. But I just want to end it off with that I disagree with the movement that if you are a Christian lady, you have to wear skirts and dresses. I disagree with that. I do not think it's necessary. I prefer pants majority of the time, and it is not an issue. So thank you for watching. If you have any comments or questions about this, I'd love to hear about it. So go ahead and pop in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video.